Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Educated Colin Snap channel. How you doing? So today, it's looking to be a big patch. We finally have the Conquest patch coming out. I want to talk about the changes, what I'm excited for, what I'm hoping to see, and just kind of an overview. This was hoping to be a pretty big patch, so there are some things I'm hoping to see in the patch. First things off, Conquest Mode, of course, and then also some patch or balance updates, which they generally do, and then some changes to the acquisition of cards. I think would be helpful. They did say they were adding the weekly missions and stuff like weekend missions and stuff like that, and just something to address like the flexible series drops. They did say in the like creator dashboard or the creator discussions essentially that they are hoping to update everyone on why they need this flexible series drops. I'm hoping that they address it in some way in this patch so that people can be a little bit more at ease, because right now we can only just look at what they've shown us, right? So if they haven't said anything, if they're keeping players in the dark, then it's kind of hard not to be dissatisfied with the changes from flexible series drops. So overall, that's just the initial thoughts, but let's actually see the actual changes and go from there. So first off, we have the patch notes. Patch highlight is new game mode Conquest. With this patch, we're excited to release a new game mode Conquest found in the game mode section. Players can now enter Conquest. Yeah. So it looks like there's going to have a blog, but a lot of creators have talked about Conquest. I'm excited for it as well. That's definitely what I'm going to be doing a lot today and for the foreseeable future, unless something changes. But yeah, it looks to be a fun system. Lets you play battle mode, lets you kind of have something to do after infinite. Because right now, you hit infinite. There's not much to do, like progression wise. So this might be cool. Next up, new in the token shop, Mystery Series 3. So this is something for people that don't have all of the Series 3 cards, which I was hoping for. When they made the change where you can't grab Series 3 cards for 1,000 tokens, I really wanted them to give 2 for free. But this is essentially the way of doing that. You get 1 for free, and then you get a random 1 for 1,000. So this kind of helps people speed up the collection. Obviously, it's a random one, so you don't actually know what you need. You could also argue that you don't really need, if you have a good like the Series 3s you want, you don't really need to speed up completing Series 3, because when you complete Series 3, you don't really get extra tokens. A lot of the times you get 100 tokens instead of a Series 3 card. So if you have the Series 3s that you want, a random Series 3 might not change what you're doing, so you might just not work on this. But if you are new to the game, if you do have a lot of Series 3s that you want that you're missing, I definitely think this is a good idea to grab. And it doesn't cost you too much. 1,000 tokens is actually pretty easy to get in the game right now, so it's not hard to just grab these. Honestly, I think it's a good idea to grab it regardless, but because you just get more cards. So I'm not too sad about this. Weekend missions offer more golden reward to players with beyond their current daily missions. Weekend missions, with the initial release of this feature, each weekend will have 3 weekend missions. Win games, earn credits. That's fine. Win games with Series Pass card to earn gold. That's fine. It's more of a kickback for people that buy the Series Pass, and then win games with newly released cards to earn tokens. It's going to depend on how much tokens you're getting back from newly released cards, because like it costs you 6,000 tokens to get a newly released card, and if you get like 1,000 back, then I mean maybe that's fine. But if it's like 400, 500 tokens, it doesn't really matter. Each of these reward amounts will vary depending on the difficulty of the mission. What does that mean? Will there be like different number of games you have to win? Like, I'd rather give me the hardest one every time, right? I want to earn the most gold. I want to earn the most tokens. I want to earn the most credit. So don't know what this means, but we'll see in game. Series drop updates have dropped. Yeah, Snow Garden, Stegron, blah, Shana, blah. So yeah, definitely not great. We have one major change this week and two similar adjustments we anticipate will make some of our lesser play cards a lot more fun. We know this patch is coming a couple weeks after High Evolutionary release, but bear in mind we implemented these changes well in advance of his release. So these changes were, I guess, in discussion before High Evolutionary even came out, right? So it takes them a while to make changes, right? Like it seems like months, or at least a month, to get a change, right? To get the data and everything, which is a while, but we'll see. Our next patch might address changes that are related to that card's impact on the metagame. Okay. So Galactus is okay. So Galactus Change is a big deal. A lot of people were hoping Galactus got adjusted, so we'll see. So it's a 6/2. If it's the only winning card, you destroy all locations. Now it's a 6/7. So it's gaining power. Okay. On reveal, if you're winning this location, and this is your only card here, destroy all other locations. If you're winning this location. So it's a 6/7. So you have to, okay, so let's say you go wave Galactus. Your opponent can just play a big card, right? Because, yeah, as long as it's above 8 power, then it won't destroy everything. So it's giving you more counterplay, I guess, in that at least Wave Galactus is a little bit more unlikely to carry you, since you're not going to be able to straight up just go Wave and Galactus. As long as they have any big card, that doesn't work. The downside, I guess, for this is like you can play like Hobgoblin, like Green Goblin, Hobgoblin, Galactus, right? And that would be pretty good because that's minus 11, 7. Yeah, and you only have 2 spaces. And you could still do that with Electro, right? So you could go like Electro, Green Hobgoblin, Galactus, and then still play a big card. I'm not sure if this is like going to fix Galactus. And you could still kind of do Galactus things, right? You could still do Galactus things. It's just like maybe opening up a little bit more counterplay, right? Because it means that early on you can play cards into a lane you think they want a Galactus, right? So that if yeah, I mean that could also be confusing. This is interesting. I do think this is an interesting idea. All right, let's read what they have. They have a lot of thoughts about Galactus. Galactus is a card we kept a close eye on since release. Ability wants a game chain to go from both players. We don't mind mixing things up from time to time in that regard, but Galactus player was moving past the threshold we set to determine both competitive diversity and also how frequently the game guard reduces stable. Because Galactus is inherently counterable, we wanted to see if the metagame could sort itself out, but it hasn't. Its popularity has increased, his win rate has only grown, and many players don't enjoy beating him. All true things. The original design of Galactus is difficult to rebalance because it's inherently one value. It has inherently one value we can adjust power. However, large power can mean that Galactus always loses priority, making post-Galactus counters like Shang-Chi or Enchantress difficult to play. Meanwhile, increases may let you beat those cards more naturally, especially Professor X. Either way, it's still all about the counters. We considered making him the first true 7-cost card. 7-cost card. I mean, Death is an 8-cost card too. But that was just less fun and weaker with the same issues. We also considered full redesigns for Galactus. But we didn't find anything that cleared our bar, which is very high. Ultimately, we decided to make power a more functional way for us to tune Galactus, which led us to this additional winning restriction. Caring about winning this way lets players contest Galactus with the core fun of Snap using power to change locations. Like, there's a lot of comments. They have a lot of comments on this. Okay. They really don't want players to be sad about this. They're like just telling you everything. We expect he'll be stronger in decks that play him on turn 6 after Hobgoblin or Nimrod, but worse than the stronger, more popular Galactus. Alright, because this change proves too much or too little, we're also given the ability to tune in further. Okay, so at least they're saying they're willing to tune him even more. Overall, I don't actually know if this is going to mean Galactus sees less play. I think Nimrod, I mean, not Nimrod and like Hobgoblin and stuff like that. It seems decent to play Galactus in that shell. So maybe you're just playing a different shell of Galactus. I guess you can find some counters. Maybe you'll see more people running like either destroy effects, like Carnage, or maybe Odin becomes popular now. I could definitely see some things like that. So definitely interesting. All right, let's move on. Maria Hill, 2/3 at a random 1 cost to add a random 1 or 2 cost. We're giving Maria Hill the ability to roll a 2 cost to make her a better theme mastery parallel to Agent Coulson. We also expect this to be a slight buff if you play Quinjet. Okay. I mean, sure. I don't know if this is doing like crazy things for Maria Hill, but I guess if you're playing Dino, this is probably fine, right? Quinjet, Dino, Maria Hill, like that seems decent to me. I could see it. Dazzler Change goes for a 4/4 to a 3/2 ongoing, +2 power for each location that's full on your side. So very likely this is like a 3/6 ongoing, right? If you're super lucky, it's a 3/8, which is really good, right? 3/8 is better than Maximus, but very likely a 3/6, which is not bad. Dazzle's ability didn't give enough of a boost to reflect the investment. Yeah, never really found a home against the 4-cost cards. Yeah. Shifted her rate to a 3-cost. So any 3-cost, you think about Silver Surfer. Any 4-cost, you think about Zabu. She may have a home alongside Brood, right? Where you could play Brood, Silver Surfer, Dazzler. So that's like very likely to be a 3/6. With Silver Surfer, it's a 3/8, right? Kind of like a Maximus. I could see it being played in Silver Surfer decks. In Patriot at Ultron, sure. I guess you could see it in Ultron too. I mean, but you could have seen it in Ultron already. It really didn't make the cut for Patriot decks. So I don't know why it would make the cut now that it's like slightly weaker. So I do think you might see it in Silver Surfer. Patron, maybe not, but maybe the cheaper power might matter. Are those the only changes? Damn. All right, so they still haven't talked about the flexible series drops, right? Like that's what I wanted to know about, if they were gonna mention anything about that, right? Like here, like, hey, we know players don't like this change, but we're working on something where it requires having this series drop structure, blah 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 blah. Anything like that would have been nice. But overall, like, still, Conquest is really cool. They are trying to adjust Galactus. I just don't know if it's going to. Maybe it's going to be better. Like, I have to play with it, right? Like, you have to play with it and see how impactful that having to win the location is. And then, because this could be pretty impactful, so I can see it. Still think Hobgoblin will matter. And then Maria Hill, I'm not really seeing this being like changing me play the card. And then Dazzler is interesting in Surfer. I could see Dazzler being played in Surfer. That one I can see for sure. But not too many like crazy balance changes. I'm definitely down to. And then the weekend missions, I want to see what it means by the difficulty, depending on the difficulty of the mission. But not the biggest patch ever, right? I definitely heard some like noise about it being like a huge patch. I mean, I guess Conquest is a pretty big patch, but like it's not like crazy. It is exciting though to try Conquest. I think that's really what matters in this update, and then just some other fillers. Hopefully, more of this going on. But that's what we have here for the patch. What are your thoughts? Especially around Galactus, I think this is really what everyone's going to be talking about. Do you have you played it? Do you think it's balanced, better, worse, etc.? Definitely want to see how it does in Conquest. Make sure you're snapping in Conquest, guys. The tickets are free for Proving Grounds. Make sure you're snapping. That's all we have today. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.
Educated calling snap. Once you watch him, you won't go back. He'll teach you to marvel snap. Your skills will be